Thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome.
15 minutes late.
10.
13. Closer
we
to
started
15.
we started rolling 2 minutes ago. I'm here. I made it.
How are you doing?
She's a hectic day.
Yeah. Hectic weekend. Hectic December.
Mm-hmm.
Already. We're just at the beginning.
Oh, I'm already dealing with stuff for January.
Dude, I'm booked till like May. Actually, September, really, if we're going
to. If you want to flex on me, that's fine.
For me.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Way to go.
I always flex on you. Lots going on. So, are you okay? Do you want to?
No, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Frustrations? Do I get any frustrations out? I know you're frustrated this morning with our children.
Yeah, they suck. Full stop. No context. No, it's I marvel at a child's ability to be asked something.
Super easy. Just close the door.
Yeah, close the door that you're literally standing beside. And I asked them both several times. Neither one of them did it. And I ultimately had to shut the door myself. And it's like words can't describe how fascinatingly aggravating that is. When it's like, dude, just close the door. I know. Yeah, I will. I just gotta do this thing that's gonna take me away from the door for a bit. Well, close it before you leave. Oh, I gotta come right back. And then they leave for like an hour. And then the other one comes trotting by. Dude, can you close that door? Yeah, I gotta do. And the door stays open. It's like, and at that point, I'm stubborn enough. I could go close the door. But I find I close enough doors and pick up enough stuff and do a lot of the things that they don't do that this time I'm like, no, I'm going to be stubborn. They're going to close the door. Well, I showed them. I closed the door about 3 hours after they left for school. That'll teach them.
Well, I was frustrated because Maya wanted me to drive her to school. And I'm like, Kate, if you can just start the car for me then.
Well, that's right.
Right. If I'm going to drive you, sure. The least you can do is go start the car. Okay. I don't even think she said okay, but she did look at me with disdain for sure. And then went downstairs. And I assumed I thought she did go start the car first.
No.
She looked at me with disdain, went around the corner. So I thought she went. I went into my own world and then she went downstairs. So it's time to go. And I'm like, hey, thanks for starting the car. Didn't start the car. So I'm like, well, because it's freezing cold, we got to wait for the car to warm up now. And so I let it drag on. I know she wanted to leave to go to work. But then I'm like, natural consequence. I shouldn't have sped. I did speed so she could be at work on time. But natural consequence was not speed. But I don't think I can not speed anyway. So
yeah, that's not in your makeup.
But I was mad. And there's no thank you. I feel bad because Willow gets the brunt of my frustration, let's say. Like I was frustrated with Maya for not doing it. And like I said, something about acting entitled. I would never say she is entitled, but she's acting like an entitled teenager. And she said bye. I didn't say bye to her. I was so mad. So then afterwards, Willow said something about me calling Maya entitled. I'm like, no, you're not. No, I didn't say she's entitled. I said she was acting entitled. I was frustrated because Daddy and I do so much. Didn't even say I said Daddy drives you guys around all the time, does so much for you guys. And we never hear a thank you. And then Maya's like, well, you were being mean. That's why I didn't say anything to you. I'm like, okay. But I have noticed since then, she has thanked me every time I've driven her or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Has she been doing it for you too?
Yeah, she usually thanked me for a drive. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where you can't even keep score or else you drive yourself nuts. No. And I mean, those sort of things, yeah, whatever. I do them, I don't do them. The only time it ever gets annoying is when I have something going on and I can't do it and then I get attitude. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
You need to ease off that. That doesn't happen super frequently.
Just annoyed because I was doing
Totally.
her a solid. Like
Minus 21.
I had to take the bus when I was a kid. Like truly, she needs to figure it out. So we don't have to drive her butt everywhere every single night. It's something. So I was doing something out of the goodness of my heart because I love her, and she couldn't go start the car. So that was what it was making me mad. But anyways, we always sidetracked.
Mhm.
My question for today is whether you think, I know the answer, but let's get your opinion. Whether you think
So just so everybody knows, this is apparently the last time this is a 2-person show because she knows everything.
I don't know everything. No, I'm just kidding. What are your thoughts? Or should we let kids see us fight?
It depends. I think kids should understand how to handle disagreements and be able to watch their parents work through those disagreements as long as it's done healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We've already had this conversation before, so you know the right answer.
Well, that was pretty much my answer like, when we had the conversation too. I don't think I said it as cleanly as that when we first started talking about it. I mean, you and I don't scrap.
No.
Right? We're not yellers. We're not.
That's one thing that Willow's friends comment on a lot. Like, don't your parents fight? She's like, no, like she's never seen us.
Well, and I've noticed though that creates in itself a weird thing because they don't have a great gauge of what anger really looks like.
That's true.
They see my annoyance as anger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm not angry. Like, angry is a completely different setting on the volume level. Like it is, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't like yelling. I don't think it's constructive. So I don't do it a lot. I've maybe only done it twice since we've had kids, and both times is because they were being boneheads, right? But by you and I not following the traditional yell at each other, one of us sleeps on the couch, make up kind of process, I don't know that they really understand that there can be a positive aspect to expressing yourself like that sometimes, right?
Right.
But yeah, I think parents should be able to scrap and have disagreements as long as they demonstrate to the kids how to resolve it. And the part that you and I have talked about in the past and kind of keep coming, and I think I mentioned this to you in the past as well, is the biggest revelation for me was that the problems that we typically face as a unit, as a couple, isn't you and me versus you and me. Mm-hmm. It's you and me versus a problem.
Yeah.
So because it's never personal, like you're this and you're that, and I hate you and I hate it when you're this, and blah, blah, blah. There's no real need for us to escalate that way. So yeah, like we tend to chirp at each other when something's annoying us, right? And the girls will pick up on that. But it's usually short-lived, right?
And few and far between usually too.
Yeah, it doesn't usually happen. But yeah, I think well,
I think there's a couple things in there. I mean, one, the externalization, you were talking about how it's usually you and I against a problem. And so that's something important too, if we're working with our kids, to externalize the problem. It's not our kids, like even just Maya acting entitled. It's not that she is entitled. So it's not me against her. It's just this behavior, right? And so if we're putting them to bed, it's about the time robbers that are getting in the way. But yeah, no, I agree. I do think, because I think a lot of parents believe that kids should never see them fight. And I would say, well, no, because they don't have any models then on how to resolve, how to negotiate, how to compromise, how to collaborate, right? And so absolutely kids need to see adults and parents fight. It's not helpful if, it's just screaming, name calling, door slamming, nothing gets resolved. That's not helpful. That's just stressful. It's confusing. It's can lead to more aggression, all of those kinds of things. But it's being able to model the things we want our kids to say, I'm really frustrated with the situation, right? I can see your point of view. This is my point of view. How can we come together? It's that collaborative problem solving,
Yep.
right? Being able to acknowledge and validate what's going on for the other person, being assertive to say, this is what's my needs or my perspective. First, making sure we understand where each of us are coming from, because that's usually where the problem is, when nobody's listening to each other. They're just yelling and yelling and yelling their point. Nobody's listening. Nobody feels heard. And then they walk away and slam doors and nothing's resolved, right? Or they go cope in other unhealthy ways. Drink a bottle of wine, go into Netflix, cold shoulder, right? There's so much tension. So being able to model that piece, I understand your perspective. You understand my perspective. We both feel heard and understood. And so from that point, then we can go into, okay, well, how are we going to solve this? So I do think that that's really important. And we might not have all the answers in the moment. So kids being able to see us come back too and just say, hey, sorry, like I was being a jerk and let's figure this out. Because we're not always perfect either. So it's important. I'm not saying you and I, we're perfect. I'm saying in general, human beings aren't usually.
Didn't come on here to be knocked down.
But no, I do think, that's a really, because we're showing that emotional literacy, emotion regulation, assertiveness, being able to solve those conflicts.
Well, and even just being able to vocalize what it is that's upsetting us or annoying us or whatever, right? Like, I tend to, when I am very angry, I need time to collect my thoughts, or else it will just come out as, gibberish in the end, really, but angry gibberish. And that's, I never want to do that because there's no point to it, right? Mm-hmm. And that was, I don't know if I'd say it was an issue. That was something that for a lot of years you weren't comfortable with, because if you could tell something was wrong, you wanted to get right into it. And if I was pissed off enough, I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about it right now. We'll get back to it. And you would drill and drill and drill and drill. I'm like, dude, I don't want to talk about this right now. And it wasn't until we had a conversation where I'm like, I'll come back to it, but you just got to let me breathe a bit and then we'll come back to it so we can have a constructive conversation. Because otherwise, there's no point anyways. Nothing's going to get solved in that initial conversation anyways. So why run the risk of hurting feelings and blowing up bridges, right?
And I was young then and didn't have the knowledge that I have now. Like, in the moment is never the time to try to process things and talk about things. Like, we need to be able to get back into our calm state before we can do any of those things. And there's something else I was going to say in there. I can't quite remember. Actually, there was research that was showing women do want to talk through issues, and women feel better after, but men don't feel better after having those. Like, women feel like, oh, that was so good. And we connected and we, cleared up all this stuff. And there's that relief for women, but it's just not the same for men. Yeah. When I was doing the couples counseling training, and we had to go through, as part of the training, you have to go through it as a couple yourself. And I remember her saying that there's usually a turtle and a hailstorm in every relationship, right? And usually the men are the turtles and the women are the hailstorm. But I think we're both turtles, because none of the hailstorms are the screaming and getting at you. And, and I don't think either of us. So turtles can be a problem.
Yeah, sometimes. I think, as long as it doesn't denote that you always hide in your shell, right? But did the study say anything about why men didn't feel as relieved when they got into it whereas the wives did?
There was, men's way of relieving it was different. I can't remember what it was, though. I feel like it was more like fists, like two men fighting it out, then they feel better. I can't remember exactly. It was so long ago, but I do just remember that piece that women felt better.
Which is funny, because I wonder if that feeds into the old cliche that men can fight and then go for a beer afterwards and have no hard feelings, but women can say that everything's fine and hold a grudge for years about the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it all depends, right? Because I think both you and I it's usually a pretty long runway when we can see that something's coming, right? Something's not right, or the other person isn't feeling like themselves or whatever. But I think the past, let's say 2-3 years, I'd say we've gotten much better at identifying, addressing, and moving on faster. Just because, and I would say that's mainly just because we've been on top of each other as a family for 3 years now, with not a ton of space and ability to roam. So when tensions do flare up, it's usually pretty quick, but it's still not yelly,
No,
fighty,
we've never.
no.
I've only yelled once in my life at anyone in this family, and it was only because Willow was saying, "Don't yell at me." I'm like, "Dude, I'm not yelling." She's like, "Yes, you are." I'm like, "Do you actually want to see me yell?" And she's like, "Yes." And so then I yelled. That's the only time I've ever yelled in my life. And she cried immediately.
Yes.
She's like, "Oh my," like,
yeah, they're not quick. So like, which makes me worried when they get out into the world and someone really loses their collective poop on them, how they're going to respond.
Well, that time that guy came out smashing my driver's windshield,
right.
and she was in the car and he's screaming, like, that scared the crap out of her. I think that's the first time she's really seen anybody.
Yeah, she's still hunkered down though. I took
upset.
that dude's plate down in a description of the truck like a champ.
Now that
and immediately came back. Dad, I wrote this down for you. Yeah, you did. Let's go cruising for this dude.
We didn't do anything with it, but yeah, like I'm just not a yeller. I just don't see. I'm more of a disengager, and I think that there's still things that we need to work on. Like, I'm sure we each have
totally
underlying stuff that we just don't bring up because it's easier not to.
Well,
which isn't healthy either.
No, but there's a point too, right? Like, I 100% agree, right? There's always underlying stuff, but at the end of the day, I also wonder: is this an underlying thing that's a chronic aggravation? Or is it just annoying me now because I'm tired or cranky or whatever?
Right.
And if I take the time to usually put it up against does it really matter meter, most of the underlying stuff doesn't really matter. There's no, like, it's not like you're out gambling every night. I'm just ignoring it. And it's,
right.
feeling,
right.
Like it's, there's broccoli and the peanut butter again. Well, I'll just shove that to the side.
Sweet peanut butter. It's not
exactly.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know. It's disgusting.
It's not. It's so good.
But it's those.
I've got a jar of peanut butter in here. It's smelling like peanut butter. It's got blueberries and cereal and just in the jar. It is what a homeless person will pull out of the trash and mix together. The girls just said that the other day. Maya said I would be an expert homeless person.
You would,
because I carry around my jar of peanut butter with.
Yeah, and you just throw random things into it.
It's so good.
But those are the only, like, there's no real other underlying stuff that annoys me.
Broccoli on your steak, though.
That drives me nuts. So bad. Like, it ruins a perfect steak, and you do it every time. And I don't even know how you get it onto my plate. Like, that's the crazy part. But you know what I mean, though, right? Like, you don't have personality. I mean, the personality traits that are ongoing, I tease you about. Like, we tease each other about it, right? Like, like the fact that your memory's awful, or you drive like you're on fire every time, right? Like, those sort of things.
I don't have time.
But those like in the rest of it. But again, I guess it begs the question of, is that something that the kids should understand? Because that just is inherently how I operate, right? Like, if it becomes annoying enough, it comes out eventually, right? But there's not a lot of stuff about you that annoys me enough to be taking shots at you, right? Or feel that it needs to come to like I feel that a lot of that stuff got worked out years ago, right? Because
never really ever.
No, like, I didn't like the fact that you labeled everything in the pantry, but hey, we're living together.
Didn't.
You did.
You say that, but I didn't.
In the Langdon house, you did.
I didn't. I didn't even have a label maker. I did not label. I profusely disagree.
You were what now? You refusely disagree?
Profusely. I'm so tired. Profusely.
But disagree. You know what I mean, though?
I was trying to say refute, but it came out. Anyways, I'm verbally dyslexic.
But those are the only things, right? But it raises an interesting point, because do the girls understand that's how we operate?
Yeah.
Right? We worked a lot of that stuff out so long ago that it's second nature for us to kind of just cruise and forget about the stuff that really doesn't matter in the big picture, right? But do they get it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either, because that was a system we worked out, right?
I'm just looking at the time.
Well, you got somewhere to be?
Yeah, actually.
Oh.
And you showed up late, so now I just gotta make sure we're on time. But okay, so I do want to
take
get
back what I said. I've got an underlying annoying thing I'd like to bring up. I'm kidding.
So is that a conversation we bring up with the girls?
I don't know. But I mean, we're talking about this as a general, basically how parents communicate is really the topic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But no, the answer is no. Because as soon as we sit down with those two yard apes and go, hey, do you guys understand how mommy and I talk? And their interest level would drop so fast, it would dent the floor.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no.
And I think they know, they know that your snoring annoys me.
Yeah.
And that they are on your bandwagon of teasing me about my verbal dyslexia and
because it's awesome.
Poor memory.
It's awesome. And it's just so easy.
And word retrieval challenges.
That hasn't been as bad lately.
Yeah. Even just the other day, I'm like, the dude with the ruler, and you're like, Ewan McGregor. And I'm like, yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's right. Because Maya started yelling that I was an enabler. Because I just figured it out. I'm like, but that's why I'm so good at pub quiz nights. It's because I could take the most randomest of things and make an answer out of it. Yeah, they do love teasing you. And I've been trying to make sure they don't go too far because I don't want you to feel like you're getting ganged up on all the time.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's. I think we've talked to them before. I know we've talked to them before about how you and I communicate when we're frustrated, right? So I don't know that they need that sort of education.
And we model it in our family meetings too.
Yeah. But that's interesting too, because they use that as an opportunity to take shots at each other. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah.
Anybody got anything they want to bring forward? Yeah, I don't like my space. And then they start arguing for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I mean, to come
but they do that anytime. Like, hey, girls, do you have anything to throw in the garbage? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or don't put your feet in there. You'll ruin it. It'll smell forever. When they're swapping shoes. Yeah, sorry. I was just going to come back to the original question, which I think parents should demonstrate how they feel conflict resolution needs to happen as long as it's healthy. But the problem is those parents that communicate unhealthily or are angry all the time or whatever, they're not going to know to not do it that way.
Yeah.
Right? Those people are the ones that have the regulation problems to begin with.
Yeah.
So screaming at your partner isn't going to make you go, oh, hang on, I should take a step back and figure out a way to communicate what I'm feeling in a more calm manner. They're not going to do that.
Well, and that's why having a cue word, we had a cue word like for us, Pickle and I, because we get angry at each other, puppy, mommy, puppy, when she saw me getting stressed, did actually help. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, okay. I often give parents scripts and couples scripts to follow, right? Just to be able to go through that. So maybe it will be helpful to kind of walk through a little bit of just so listeners can kind of hear the format, kind of walk through a grievance and how we would go through.
Who's bringing the grievance forward?
You can. So I can model.
Yeah.
We can use the counter as an example because that was
a counter.
Mm-hmm.
And you leaving peanut butter covered utensils on the counter?
Oh no.
Or just the general fact that up until recently it's been
the hole underneath the counter. Countertop.
Correct. I have a grievance I would like to file, madam. Okay. So assuming that I'm annoyed, so here we'll paint the picture.
You were pretty annoyed with that.
Yeah. My lovely wife and her duplicate named Maya, who literally is becoming her mother more and more every day, came to me in a fit of excitement asking for tools that they could use to cut out the back of the custom kitchen island we put in less than a decade ago because they were pretty sure with their research that there was a space in the middle that they could hang out in. So me being the open-minded individual I am, quickly thought it through and said, no, I'm not giving you any tools. No, I don't want you cutting holes in the cabinets. And have you really thought this through? And they were 100% in ADHD sport mode. Like their feet were firmly planted on the accelerator and rational conversation was not an option. So my annoyance, because the question itself is valid. Hey, can we cut into the back of here and make a fort? Any normal conversation would likely end with, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Let's move on from that. Well, these two were frothing at the mouth already because they'd spent a half an hour thinking it through and thought it was amazing.
No, okay, yeah, we thought it through, and we had already tried to take the shelving apart.
Yes.
We had taken all the screws out of one of the shelves underneath, within the island, and realized it's all glued down. And so we started prying up the bottom of the cupboard because I figured we could make a crawl space in there. But then I'm like, I should just drill a hole so we can actually see first before we go through any more work.
Like, and that's my anger and annoyance is rising again. Like, just having you retell that part of it is making me angry. You disassembled by hand part of the cabinetry before you decided we should just drill holes in it
just to make sure
to validate our theory. Man. Anyway.
That's when we contacted you.
Yes. And I flatly refused to participate in this activity, which only made them firmer in their desire to see it through. And it's I mean, that's really about it, right? Like I was firmly on the no. You guys kept throwing at me lame ass reasons why you thought it should be a yes. And we're whispering to each other that you were just going to do it yourselves without me, even though I was 4 feet away and have functioning ears and could hear you. So, yeah, that was probably the last time I was really genuinely annoyed.
So let's collaboratively problem solve through this situation,
please.
Okay, so you tell me now. If you're doing this with your kids, the adult version should be like 10 words or less. But because this is 2 adults collaboratively working together, we can share our whole thing. So I am the listener. My job is to not jump in, not correct, not do anything. I'm simply listening to make sure you feel heard, that I am listening. I am understanding your point of view before we move on. Okay. As the listener, that's my job. So from your perspective, why was creating a nice little ventralizing relaxation, hide and seek space underneath the island in the middle a problem for you?
Because it was needlessly destructive of something we paid a lot of money to put into the house.
Okay.
And I would say that in itself is not really the aggravating part. The aggravating part was having to fight my spouse along with my child about the reason why this wasn't a good idea. And that's probably the only time I really get annoyed is when I get put into a position where there should be 2 adults talking to the child saying, no, that's probably not a good idea. And it's not that. It is 1 adult, 1 child, and Mr. Rain on the parade going, that's a bad idea.
I gotta put this peanut butter away because it's really overwhelming. Still going to smell like peanut butter, but at least it will be a little bit further away from me. Okay. So as a listener, I got to make sure I've gotten what you said. So the script is essentially, so I heard you say that cutting into the cabinets would be needlessly destructive in our custom built cabinets.
And I want to be really clear. I'm not trying to make it sound like super bougie or anything. It's just the kitchen we had was awful and we renovated, and wrecking that seemed silly. Okay.
Seems silly. And the fact that you were essentially like the Mr. Debbie Downer on this when it should have been another rational functioning adult, but it was like talking to 2 kids.
Love that you got. Yes, functioning adult. Yes, 2 functioning adults. That's what we're going for.
Did I get it?
You did.
Is there more?
Not in this instance, no.
The only thing that I can remember you also saying was just the structural
Yeah, I mean, that was
integrity.
part of the reason that I was, I'm trying to simplify the topic down. But yeah, I was concerned about the fact that, the cabinets serve as the support for hundreds and hundreds of pounds of weight of the countertop.
Yeah.
Right. Which, to give everybody an idea, our island is 2 8.5 by 11-foot sheets of quartz put together. It is massive and it is heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes up our whole house, essentially. It's so big, it's ridiculous. But you were worried that it was going to.
Yeah, it was gonna cause irreparable damage either and make it unsafe, right?
Is there more?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so the safety piece, the damage,
the functional
and the functional adults. Okay. So my perspective was I wasn't going to completely take a piece away from the cabinet. I was just going to create a door so it would still have the supports, albeit a door versus a solid wall. And it would be in a cabinet that nobody would notice. And so, like, it's not a door that's usually opened. It's kind of underneath where all the chairs go. So it's hardly ever opened or used. Wouldn't even be noticeable. And it would be a great place to hide. Nobody would ever find you, which would be amazing. So that was my piece. Right. And with the dogs.
See, here's the rise. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the voice getting excited.
Because, well, even just it's been so cold the past week or two. And so, sometimes if we don't want to go outside, we can play hide and seek and do other things with the dogs. And that's like the perfect hiding spot. They would run around and around and around, and they wouldn't be able to find me.
True.
Okay. So I forgot to say that was your turn as listeners. So now you got to reflect back what you heard.
So if I've heard you, your thoughts on why it was a good idea or why you thought it was okay to proceed was that you weren't looking to take it all apart. You wanted to cut a door out of the back of an existing structure, which would still essentially have the same supports in an area that nobody would see, and that it would make for a great hiding spot for you and the dogs.
Not for the dogs,
from the dogs. Sorry, from the dogs.
And other humans who came to play hide and seek with me.
Correct. Did I capture everything?
You did. Is there more?
Is there more?
No, there's not more.
Oh, okay, good.
That's it. Yeah. And be lights and like squishimals in there.
Here it goes, ladies and gentlemen.
It'd be super.
Now imagine this for 40 minutes.
Super cozy. Okay. So we both feel heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no jumping in. No one was judging each other. So that's kind of how you do it, right? You got to be able to. Are you judging me?
At the moment.
Your body language was judging me.
I'm trying to make sure I just don't move my hands so they're not noisy.
Okay. So then we go into how do we brainstorm? Somebody must
delivery.
So now we apologize for that. Now we brainstorm all of the different ideas how to solve this. Now with the brainstorming phase, it's really important that nobody's judging each other, right? So even if I said we just get rid of the countertop completely and just enter it from the top and put a slide in from there to the basement.
Couldn't even get through it without just jumping ahead.
Yes, that would be super exciting.
Sorry, you're now going to repitch me on drilling through the custom slabs of quartz.
Okay, not the quartz, but from the floor down to the basement. Underneath that, put a slide or like a pool.
Into the middle of the TV room.
Sure. Where would it go right into?
Yeah. It would literally be right in front of the TV.
That would be amazing because then you go in there and then you're not in there anymore. The dogs would go mad. It'd be amazing. Okay, so we'll just no judging.
I'm not sure I'm strong enough to get through this without judging. I'm sorry.
So we write our ideas.
Okay, write our ideas.
And you would what's one of your ideas?
Can I just write no several times on a page?
Okay. So, no triggers stress hormones.
Okay.
So just say, keep cabinets intact. Find a different hiding spot.
S'il vous plaît.
Put a slide.
No, I'm not on the team slide. There's no team slide on this side.
I'm going to get a slide in here one of these days. We're going to have a slide. It doesn't have to be under the counter. But anyway, we write down all of our ideas. right?
Yeah.
What that looks like. And then we start crossing off ones for sure. Apparently I can't put a slide underneath the thing, whatever. Just so you know, we're going to fast forward this. We did come to a conclusion because I did hide in the shelf itself one day and nearly suffocated. So if I actually went in behind that other door underneath the quartz, for sure suffocation would happen.
And you do realize that had you done that and suffocated and died, guaranteed it becomes a murder she wrote and people are wondering how I killed my wife or what happened to the missing doctor. It'd be so insane that I'd be like, look, constable, she likes hiding. So there's a real good chance if you go to there, she'll be, and they'll be like, how did you know that? I would be in jail so quick.
Yeah. So I realized that was probably a bad idea because then we would have to have lots of air holes, but not only through just the back of the shelf, like through the cupboard doors and stuff like that. So then I realized that that's probably a bad idea. So, experiential learning, that was really helpful. You could have told me that and it would have been like, psh, right? So we can't talk. We got to learn for ourselves. And so I learned for myself. So fast forward, it's not going to happen, but that's how you would do it is write down all of your ideas, cross off ones you don't like, you don't like the slide. And then whatever's left over, you can kind of create a plan from there. That's kind of how to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything to add?
Just everybody would be happy to know that the island is relatively unscathed other than the exploratory
I
work
put the
that was
screen
done.
back in. You wouldn't even notice that we took it apart.
Except for the dead person in the middle of it that you hid there. Was that, hang on. It's this is just an elaborate ruse.
For putting a body behind there?
No one would ever think to go, well, it's airtight, isn't it?
It would smell bad.
That's how you killed him.
Who would have I killed? Andy?
Episode 1, the diabolical doctor.
No, we couldn't get back in there. That's why if I could have got back in there, I never would have contacted you. The only reason I needed to contact you was to see if I could. So it was not even to see if I could, it was to find a drill to see.
Had it not been outside of your immediate skill set, you would have just plowed ahead with doing the island and then told me later, oh, hey, by the way, I did this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see no problem with that.
Sure, I do now.
No, you don't. You're saying it because you think it's what I want to hear. Answer me honestly. If it wasn't for the fact that you now know that you would have suffocated, do you think it was a bad idea to have gone ahead with it without me?
I guess so.
Now, again, you're just saying it because you think that I want to hear it.
Well,
you really don't. You really don't.
I don't see the consequence now. My ADHD brain.
My word.
Is focused on rewards, fun, awesomeness, not the consequences.
You need to shift that. So like rewards and awesomeness is your husband being like super happy at the decision you made that didn't destroy our house and being like, that's reward enough for a good day's work. Not me and the kids tore something apart. So he's upset.
Well, I did feel bad that one episode where we were talking. Oh, it was the episode where we were talking, what's it like to have ADHD kids? And like, I had no idea about the medication piece because you were talking about how me and Mai just went ahead and made the decision without. I do consult you on important decisions. But usually when I get hyper focused on something, I'm just like,
you don't.
I gotta do it now. I gotta do it now.
Yeah, you do.
Like our house. I'm just like, we need to have this house. And then we bought the house.
But again, that's not consulting.
No, I know.
So
but you were there.
It's not consulting though. But that's what I was going to say. I'm like, I don't know you consult so much as just inform. And that's where the process breaks down, because if you are hyper focused and it's moving fast, you forget the inform step.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't think it's consulting. Very rarely do you come to me and say, hey, can I chat with you about something that's really a big deal for us? And I'll be like, yeah, let's talk about it. That never happens.
But what's a big deal for us that I would need to consult with you on? It's very rare that comes up.
Well, it's because it's very rare that you want to be involved in those things.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Hey, what do you want to do for a vanity? Don't care. Hey, what do you want to do with the renovations of the bathroom? I don't care.
I don't care.
You do, though. We've talked about this before. You are very much an after the fact care.
Well,
because you're like, oh, you meant 2 sinks. Oh, that's not what I imagined. I imagined one would be at the top of the slide and I would like come whipping down into the tub. That's what I thought the Reddit was. Like, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
Well, I don't know what I want or don't want until it's after it's already happened.
Which is amazing when you pair it with a hyper-focused type A that only likes things the way she likes things. So it's like, I don't want to be bothered making this decision now, but I reserve the right to tell you I hate it later. All right, cool. I'm just going to spend a ton of my time knowing it's going to suck.
No. You did fabulous with the kitchen. I didn't have zero say in the kitchen. You did fabulous.
Thank you. Let's hope that sentiment holds for the bathroom.
You have more aesthetic sense than I do.
I do.
That kind of stuff.
Watch a lot of home and garden TV. Did when I was growing up too.
I don't got time for that.
Dude, I could kill an HGTV marathon and rewatch it.
I would be bored within 5 seconds.
No, it's the joy of seeing what you already know is happening and going, it's still beautiful, and then moving on.
Even just watching it first time would be boring for 5 seconds.
You shut your mouth.
I don't know. It's boring to me.
How did we ever find each other and like each other enough to be together when you say such hurtful things to me?
I'm sure it's fine. It's just there's a lot of people talking. There's not much happening. It's my ADHD. It's just got to be
work.
More.
Is there anything else we can tell the people?
No, I think that's it. Make sure when you're in a fight, you're both calm.
Don't be dicks.
And listen.
What?
Make one person, if you have to have the ruler, you can only talk when you're holding the ruler like you do with kids. And the other person is the talker. So if you've got, if you've got the ruler, you're the talker. If you don't have the ruler, you're just the listener and not thinking about what you're going to say or how you're going to refute or but. It's our buts that buts get in the way, right? Our big butts get in the way of everything. Just listening and making sure, did I get it?
And just really try and separate what's being said from yourself.
Yeah, and not take it personal. Yeah.
Well, because the problem is not the other person, because that's where most people start from is, well, if he's got a problem, I'm going to defend myself. And it's really, I got to listen to what he's saying and figure out what the problem actually is, and then figure out how we deal with it.
And if you need to externalize it and give it a name, like fun killer. Fun killer is the problem Andy and I usually have to work as a team.
That implies that I kill fun.
It's not you. It's just
so out of this, would you say that you're killing fun? No, you'll be like, I invent fun.
I'm not saying you kill fun. Your behaviors kills fun.
I am incapable of separating my ego from this part of the conversation. You just bamboozled me with speak that you'd use on the kids. I'm not saying you're a fun killer. I'm saying you behave like a fun killer.
Your actions kill a lot of our fun. It's true.
Do you know what it doesn't kill? You guys, because I'm the only rational thinking person here that makes you not die. Like, dude, that's a bad idea. What are you talking about? And then later on, oh, that's a bad idea.
There's only once that alley incident was the only time that we were probably in grave danger.
As a collective.
Mm-hmm.
But when you guys pair off or when you go off on your own, no, there's a ton of bad decisions that happen. Pregnant Caroline climbing a 20-foot tree on the side of the reservoir.
Oh, yeah.
Not smart.
Yeah. There was something recently, too. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know. I just put those into a far part of my brain.
Weekly, usually.
Yeah. And I just put it into the dark part of my brain not to be accessed.
Yeah.
Like Marge Simpson said, you take those bad feelings, you just push them down, way down, and you don't think about them.
There was something recently, though. I can't remember. But anyway, good day.
Good day from the fun killer.
You're not the fun killer.
Don't try and make me feel better.